Good afternoon and welcome to the Boulevard. Compliments of the season to everyone. Boxing Day fixture. Unusual for Leeds to be away on Boxing Day, and I don't think they were terribly pleased when the fixtures came out to find themselves in Hull. Well, they haven't won in the league for some time, but they come in today's game certainly as favourites, in great form recently. Winning the Regal Trophy at Workington last week, but a fortnight ago, a tremendous victory over Wigan in a really epic encounter at Headingley. And Leeds really on top form at the moment. They have an injury problem today. Kevin Iro, who was in great form against Wigan a fortnight ago, is out, and young Phil Hassan from the A-team comes into the centre. Hull side taking the field, led by Steve McNamara, who's been under an injury doubt for most of the week, but is playing. A big task for Hull again today, but they get plenty of support. It's a good atmosphere here today. Let's have a look at the two sides of the lineup. The Hull side, first of all, Richard Gaze at full-back, Rob Danby and Paul Sterling on the wings, Gary Nolan and Tavita Verkerner in the centres, Shane Endicott and Mark Hewitt the halves, Steve McNamara, Lee Richardson and Gary Rose the front row. Gary Rose will be looking forward to this match very much against his former club. Chico Jackson and John Sharp in the second row with Jez Cassidy at loose forward. Rob Nolan and Dean Busby on the bench. The Leeds side, packed full of talented internationals, a very pacey back line particularly. Alan Tate at full-back, Jim Fallon, Francis Cummings on the wings, Phil Hassan and Craig Innes in the centres, Gary Schofield and Graham Holroyd at half-back. Means no place for the former Hull France international scrum half Patrick Onta. Harvey Howard, James Lowe and Essene Faimalo make up the front row, with Gary Mercer, Richard Ayres and the peerless Ellery Hanley at loose forward. George Mann and Neil Harmon the two subs. The referee today, Mr. Robert Connolly, not to be confused with his almost identical twin John. And a match that everyone is eagerly anticipating. Leeds fans looking to keep up pressure on Wigan at the top of the table, having beaten them, made that first dent in Wigan's record this season a fortnight ago. Hull desperate for points, of course, at the other end of the table, and this combined with the New Year's Day fixture at Doncaster, vital games for Hull, their efforts to stay in the First Division. We have Stuart with us here from Leeds. Not a ground Leeds have won in the league for some years, Stuart, but they must start favourites today.
Well, you would assume so, but it's always difficult for Leeds here. It's their bogey ground, very much so, in the last few years. They haven't won in the league since 1986. In fact, they've only won once here since Gary Schofield came to the club, and that was the game in the Regal Trophy when Ellery Hanley broke his jaw. So it's going to be difficult for Leeds today, but they are, as you say, in top form. They played very, very well against Wigan, and despite the closeness of the score, they worked very hard in difficult conditions at Workington to get through in the Regal Trophy. Hull, well, they'll always be looking to put one over on Leeds. It seems to be the team that they get their regular 2 points from. So a good game in prospect, and one or two Leeds fans made the trip over. Well, Leeds are going to be receiving the ball first, because Hull are going to be kicking off. And Mark Hewitt, the scrum half, will be the ball blowing over there. There doesn't look to be much wind here out on the pitch, but the ball just blowing off the sand. And Leeds will be looking to run that ball back early doors here and put some pressure on the Hull line. So Jez Cassidy gets the game underway. The ball just holding up in the breeze, and Graham Holroyd having to run many a mile for that. Let's kick back towards the Hull ranks. And Hull immediately on the ball. Richard Gaze in support. And a forward pass deemed there by Robert Connolly. So all happening in the first few minutes there as Graham Holroyd chose to kick that one back. Whether that was pre-planned, who knows. And Holroyd whips the ball out, and Jim Fallon charging in. Good tackle coming in there from Shane Endicott, the New Zealander, whose father is, of course, a New Zealand coach, Gary Mercer, and he looks full of running. That's a lovely ball there. Well, if the first one was borderline, that was even more borderline. And Leeds can feel aggrieved about that one. A couple of borderline decisions there.
Very, very much so. It's a clean break made by both sides, but forward pass given on each occasion. Endicott brings Gary Nolan into play. Played about 5 metres inside the Leeds half. Jez Cassidy, Leeds offside on the far side. The ref seeing how far Hull would go, but gives the penalty. And Brian Holwell here with me. Quite a strong wind blowing out there, Brian, and Hull playing into it in the first half.
Yeah, that's right. And I think the rain's forecast for the next hour or so. That'll be Sterling, take it in. Richardson, Rose. Good tackle. Hard tackle from Howard on Rose. For corner. Hewitt. Good defence again by Leeds, moved out quickly. Gay. Long ball to Danby. Danby. Penalty against Irving, I think, for pulling him round. Certainly against Innes, I should say. Certainly a decision you wouldn't have seen last year.
Or even 3 weeks ago. So Mark Hewitt with this penalty attempt. It's as with all these tightening up of laws, the referees tend to be a little bit over prescriptive to start with. Nothing wrong in the idea of speeding up the play of the ball and stopping players interfering and laying on, but we have seen some penalties given for things that the players just can't avoid doing, really. So this shot, some 12 metres in from touch on the near side. Quite a strong gusty wind blowing today. So a difficult kick for Mark Hewitt. Strikes it well. Does very well. Good goal by Mark Hewitt. Struck it extremely well. Hull take the lead 2-0. And we've been playing 4 minutes. It's going to be Graham Holroyd to restart, playing in the scrum half position at the moment. Here's Paul Sterling, passed the fitness test. Out of the last 2 matches with a hip injury, or rather injured his hip in the Halifax game. Vercona from acting halfback. It's out of the 20-metre zone. Sharp. Good tackling by the Leeds forwards. Chico Jackson trying to work some space around the ruck. Hewitt kicks. Good deep kick. Kicks over Tate. Tate runs it back. Good tackle by Vercona. Penalty against Vercona. Made the good tackle but had a second go. I think that was fair enough. So the Leeds penalty, Stuart.
Yes, and in the light of what's been going on in the last couple of weeks, as you say, that looked a fair enough sort of a penalty there. If you have a second bite of the cherry now, you're almost certainly penalised, so Leeds won't be too disappointed with that. Gives them a chance to clear their quarter. They're now up to the halfway line. All right, missing out Mercer, Innes. And Phil did ever so well there, the pass from Innes. That should be 6 more there. In fact, he's given a quick penalty against Hull for being offside at the play of the ball. So Hanley, who was looking to make a quick break there, instead gives Holroyd the ball, and Leeds will have possession in the Hull 20 metres, and the score would be very welcome now for the Liners. Harvey Howard will drive forward. Been in good form of late, Harvey Howard, and 5 Mile, another one who works hard all day from number 10. Leeds 5 metres short. Now that's good play from Leeds, setting up position well there. Mercer, the clean who's stride. In fact, the ball missed him out there. Hanley has it for Leeds. So Leeds at 6s and 7s at the moment. Here comes Schofield now. What can he do? That ball there's for Richie Ayres, and nobody in the centre position there. Innes was missing over. Tries to chip over Craig Innes, but that's over dead. So that'll be a tap out to Hull on the 25, on the 20 metres, and the first Leeds raid comes to nothing. So Lee Richardson, former OKR man, will tap the ball, and Steve McNamara. That's a great run from McNamara. Tremendous run there from McNamara.
Yes, good clearing run. Might expect a forward to make 10 metres there, but he made 20. And Sterling on the second tackle was brought play into the Leeds half. Sharp, Endicott, throws the dummy. He's tackled 12 metres inside Leeds half. Gary Nolan acting half. Hewitt. Got John Sharp with him. Hewitt takes on the defence himself. Gets to the 30-metre line. Endicott. Cassidy. Back to Gary Rose. Chico Jackson. It's the last tackle. Hewitt goes to the air. That's a good kick onto Tate. Well, great work by Alan Tate. Good jump, good take. Here goes Hassan from acting half. Relatively inexperienced centre.
Yes, only played a couple of first team matches for Hassan. Big on defence in Alliance team football. It'll be interesting to see how he comes today. But Leeds now moving the ball with Hanley. Just inside the 40-metre mark, Gary Schofield now with the ball in his hands. Looks to put Richie Ayres through the gap. There's men in support there and well clamped up. Good defence there from number 3, Gary Nolan. Leeds get the penalty. John Sharp having another go. So Leeds quickly into the stride again. It's Sassini Faimalo. Taking play now well into the whole half of the field. Holroyd drops off ball there. It's for Ayres. And then this is away there. And he's set Cummins on the gap now. Cummins inside. Hanley's going to score the try under the post. Class piece of football there from Leeds. Lovely run from Richie Ayres, who set play up really well there. Looked to have taken the wrong option when the gap opened for him. Came for the next gap, took it, managed to find Craig Innes, and Craig Innes using the dummy well there, using Francis Cummins as a foil, finally giving him the ball, and as always Ellery Hanley on the end of a Francis Cummins break for the first Leeds try. Not too much wrong with that one.
No, Ellery Hanley scored a few like that. Support play of the highest order, and good work by Francis Cummins there, but really John Sharp must be asking himself why he gave that penalty away in the earlier play that gave Leeds the position. So, an easy conversion attempt for Graham Holroyd. No problems at all. So Leeds 6-2 ahead. And we've had 10 minutes of this first half. Mark Hewitt to restart. The rain starting to come down. Gary Schofield takes it from the restart, finds Mercer. Tackled by Gary Nolan on the shoulder.
James Lowe spots the gap from acting half. And has a rough and tumble there with his old mate Gary Rose. Harvey Howard. So Leeds will probably use the kicking game in this first half with the wind, the rain, as we were promised, is starting to come down now. Richie Ayres just driving forward. 4 tackles gone. Schofield finds Mercer. And Phil did ever so well to take Mercer's inside ball there. And Holroyd puts the kick in. That's downfield there, and that's going to run, and Richard Gay could let that run, I think, out, but he decides to take the ball and brings the ball away. And Hull have missed Richard Gay this season. Gets a good ball away in the tackle there to by corner. Running across the field, but beating men as he does so. Straightening up now. And finally the Leeds halves bring him down.
Good run by Tavita Vacona. Sterling goes from acting half-back. Richardson. Cassidy. Tackled by Innes. 8 metres short of halfway. John Sharp hits a flat ball, makes the halfway line. Rose. Penalty against John Sharp for not playing the ball correctly. Well, John Sharp given 2 penalties away now.
That's right. Dead right. I mean, that was no argument about that decision. He certainly didn't play the ball. Easy touch for Leeds. Over to Stewart.
And here comes Fine Marlow. Looks to get out of the first tackle, but 3 Hull men bring him down. That's good defence from Hull. And this is where the hard yards are made, and Chico Jackson in there at the tackle, and he invariably has a big game against Leeds. Schofield dodging, looking to go himself. Lost the ball there in the tackle, Gary Schofield. And Schofield appealing to the referee, but they didn't look too much wrong with that.
No, I think it was one of those balls that just seemed to come out as they made contact with the ground. Leeds offside. The Fine Marlow for not marking square on. Hull take the penalty, take the tap. Mark Hewitt over halfway, slips the first tackle. Well, that was a bit of holding down, I'd have thought, by Fine Marlow. John Sharp up to the 30-metre line. Richardson from acting half gets to the 20-metre line. Hull making the yards effectively. Endicott, Cassidy, Vacona. The rain now really belting down. Sterling, ball goes loose. Chico Jackson kicks through. Not a bad kick. Cummings has to field it. And he's tackled over his own line. Good work by Chico Jackson. A good kick, Brian.
Yeah, good kick and a good chase by Paul Sterling, who made sure of him well in the in-goal area. Bit of a kick to nothing by Chico Jackson then, because he really had run out of options. So it's all right to restart play. Long kick with the wind behind him, fielded by Richard Gay. Oh, ball to Vacona. Hewitt, Rose. McNamara drops off Gary Nolan. It's John Sharp to McNamara again. Short ball to Cassidy, who loses it. To Danby. Referee rules a knock-on. Leeds head and ball.
So Leeds, now the rain absolutely siling down at the moment, and it's in the faces of Hull. And Leeds won't have to make the mistake that they've made so many times here at the Boulevard, and not to go in at half-time leading by enough points. In recent years, they've dominated the first half, not gone in leading enough, and lost early in the second half. Gary Mercer there stepping out of tackles. That's good driving there from the Kiwi. We've got a share of Kiwis on both sides today. Ball for Philosan there. Cut inside Paul Sterling. Jimmy Laws picks that ball up, spotted the gap was on there. The break from acting half made a good 17 metres. And Hull have a man injured. It's Gary Schofield now with the ball. That's a long ball out. That'll bounce for Craig Innes. Inside ball dropped off for Cummings. Cummings straight. Oh, Schofield, that's good play. Alan Tate now looks to make the break. There must be something on here if Leeds can whip that ball away quickly. They can't, and that's great defence from Paul Sterling. We're up to the last tackle now. So Tate hoists the bomb. Richard Gay's underneath, catches the ball. No problem at all for Richard Gay. And good tackling, bringing him down in his own 20 metres.
Gary Nolan running from acting halfback. Meanwhile, Lee Richardson's receiving attention. I think he's going to have to come off. Busby comes on for him. Lee Richardson made a great tackle on Hassan. Gary Rose intent on getting the ball away today. Steve McNamara kicks down this short side to Tate. Rob Danby with him. Cummings. Good tackle by Gary Nolan. Innes from acting halfback gets the 40-metre line. Lowe's from acting half, well ankle tap by John Sharp. Hanley. Little dash up the middle from Ellery Hanley into the Hull half. Schofield. Inside ball to prop forward Howard. Ayres. The corner can't pick up. Pity there. The clear field ahead of him. He's given a knock on both ways, the referee. Oh, Leeds head and ball at the scrum.
Well, that corner there could have gone the length of the field and levelled the scores. But as it is, Leeds have got the penalty. Dropped off inside ball for Jim Fallon there from Alan Tate, making the extra man at the scrum. Fallon comes right across field. Can't shake men off, and Paul Sterling coming in from his wing. And that's a penalty. Well, Jim Fallon not playing the ball correctly. So we've seen that from both sides this afternoon. And quickly McNamara's driving forward for Hull.
Steve McNamara plays it, about 35 out. Busby. Chico Jackson trying to work on that angled run up the ruck. Hewitt. Endicott kicks over into the wind. Tate should collect that pretty easily, I think. But Shane Endicott makes the tackle on Tate 2 metres from his own line. Holroyd. Mercer usually plays very well against Hull and getting in the thick of things today. Howard almost gets the 40-metre line. Hanley to Famalo. Comes back the middle. Good tackle by Busby. Holroyd to kick to the far side. The ball will run away. I think it just finds touch just inside the corner flag. Great kick.
Yes, terrible wind blowing that ball, taking that ball well there. 50-60 metres towards the Hull line, and just shows you the strength of the wind that Leeds will be playing into in the second half. So they'll be looking to go in with more points than this on the board at half-time. To be fair, they haven't used the wind, haven't used the kicking game much, but the game has been a bit of a stop-start affair with both sides committing errors. They've already had 8 penalties. Sterling just juggling with that ball as it came away from the scrum.
Hull trying to clear the lines with Busby. McNamara to Endicott. And that's good Leeds tackling by Innes and Cummings. Bundle Shane Endicott into touch. So Leeds with the feed on the 40-metre line.
There's big defence there from Craig Innes and Francis Cummings. You bundling Endicott, as said there, into touch right on the 40 metres. So Holroyd will feed for Leeds. It's their 4th head and ball, their 4th clean win. Innes looking for the run round there. And Tate wrapped up. That's good spot defence there from Vicona. Gary Mercer running out wide, looking to move the ball there. And using the short side now. That's Cassini Marlow. And that's a good driving run that takes play almost to the 20 metres. Leeds pressing strongly now. Holroyd with the ball in his arms. Finds Schofield, looks for the run around. Does just that, and that's Innes in the line. Lovely ball there's for Tate. Cummings stepping inside again, Francis Cummings. But goes to ground. Good defence from Hull. Moved across well there. Holroyd calls for the ball. And now Schofield has it. And puts Philosan through a gap there. The referee's giving a forward pass this time. Which again looks very marginal. Has he given obstruction there? Well, Schofield then. So I can't really argue there was 3 men in the way. Schofield, so Leeds denied a try there, and Philosan be disappointed with that one.
Yes, I think it was the Leeds decoy runner coming through earlier who created the obstruction. So Hull have the penalty. Steve McNamara hitting the ball up. Gary Rose working the way up to halfway. Sharp gets the halfway line. And, interference, play the ball against Ellery Hanley. And referee going to talk to Hanley, I think. I think the pattern is two offences, caution, sin bin, isn't it? I think that's the pattern that Greg McCallum is looking to use for this interference at the play of the ball. Anyway, Hull have the penalty on the halfway line. Oh, but Steve McNamara doesn't make touch.
It's blowing a bloody gale and he goes for touch.
Well, that's really possession wasted for Hull. Leeds in possession.
And Holroyd straightening up now, goes for the gap, looks to go himself, running with that ball into the Hull half of the field. So Leeds will look, they've got substitute on George Mann, and he's on for Gary Mercer. And didn't see anything wrong with Gary Mercer, but he's gone off and George Mann's on the field. So Schofield again with the ball in his hands, spots the gap, goes himself. Hanley now. Richard Gay will look to bring him down, but he won't bring Hanley down. That's the second try for Ellery Hanley, and a try absolutely out of nothing there. Good try there from Leeds.
Excellent try created by Schofield. 2 suggestions of a dummy, went the other way, completely wrong-footed the defence. Created the opening there with Ellery Hanley just a bit too quick and had a bit too much room and got round Richard Gay. It's interesting actually, both the Leeds tries, excellent tries, have come from Hull giving away possession, Steve. Once from a penalty and once you got a penalty they can't find touch.
I think they've taken Gary Mercer off, which amazes me because he's been the absolutely outstanding forward. No problems for Holroyd for the kick. Leeds have a 12-2 lead.
Leeds will be looking for something like an 18 points to 2 lead at half-time. Really, that's what the conditions would suggest here. And as I said earlier, that's what Leeds have not done in years gone by when they've lost these games. They've not made advantage of the territorial advantage that they've had in the first half. And again, that ball hangs up in the wind, and this time Schofield will have to let it bounce. Finds George Mann. And George Mann quickly to his feet now. Finds Assini Marlow. And again, good drive in there from the former Widnes player, Simone. Harvey Howard. That's back to Holroyd, and Holroyd will put the kick in. He floats that one over the top. Richard Gay's underneath, takes it on the full. Positioned himself well there. The ball seemed to be in the air for such a long time. That's the first run for Rob Danby.
10 metres short of halfway, Hull. McNamara. Sharp. Inside to Chico Jackson. So no forward progress made then. Hewitt. A little kick into the air onto Cummings. I think Richard Gay has it. It's it back well. McNamara. Gay. Tackled on the last by Gary Schofield inside it. No, it's the 5th tackle rather. Sorry, I thought it was the turnover. Hewitt kicks from acting half. Drifts it in behind Cummings, who takes it on his 20-metre line.
Thank you, Steve. And Francis Cummins looks to run away from Gary Nolan, can't do that, so George Mann will be quickly in acting half, spins in the tackle, or at the dummy half, and makes about 6 metres before the whole cover coming up, bringing him down. It'll be left to Rossini, fine Marlow. And Hull will have to be careful in moving away from the marker position too quickly for what I would say would be the referees liking, but so far they've got away with it. Tate spots the gap. Tries to go himself, used Innes as a foil, and we're up to the last tackle. And back to Holroyd, and Holroyd finally gets a really good kick in there. Despite intense pressure from Hull, and Richard Gay will bring the ball away again. Looks to take Cummins on, dancing away, but nowhere to go for Richard Gay, Steve.
Neil Harmon is on the field for Leeds. Replaced Harvey Howard. Busby loses possession. Knock on against Hull. The error is coming thick and fast. Richard Gay's back on his feet, but Leeds again with head and ball. This scrum on the 40-metre line.
Yes, and Hull will want Richard Gay back. He's missed most of the season, and I'd like him back for my fantasy league points. He was my full-back at the beginning of the season, and so far hasn't got me many points. However, that's another game, and this one here sees Craig in. He's coming off an inside ball from Gary Schofield back into the heavy traffic area, but Leeds now opening play out with Neil Harmon, and that's good driving from Neil Harmon. Quickly to his feet, plays the ball. Lowe's will find Holroyd, Schofield. Short balls for Richie Ayres, who's had a big game this afternoon. Takes play into the 20 metres. So Lowe's again quickly in. Schofield switching play this time. Hanley really Leeds running out of options on that side of the field, and Hanley it's brought down, and Leeds have lost ground in that tackle. Lowe's looks for this option, goes himself from acting half, but there's no way through, and Leeds in that whole 20 metres now, and the length of the field, width of the field could come here. George Mann now, there should be good play there for Innes. Well, that looked a terrible high tackle on Innes, no malice in it, but definitely worth a penalty. Number 3, Gary Nolan, and Innes has stayed down. Innes looks struggling there, but Leeds will certainly get the penalty. Penalty standing at 6-5 to the Early Birds at the moment. The scrum's 5-2 to Loiners. Innes back on his feet, and I'm sure Graham Holroyd will look to kick at goal. It's a difficult kick in this swirling wind, but Holroyd didn't look to anything really vicious in that tackle, Steve.
No, the referee thought it was too high, and Leeds have the penalty with Graham Holroyd to kick from the 10-metre line. Hardest kick he's had yet. Drifts to the right of the post, so no goal, no change to the score. Still 12-2 to Leeds. Leeds with more possession from the 20-metre dropout.
It's the wind just catching that one and blowing it across the face of the post. Not a day for goal kickers today. The drop kick holds up in the wind and falls between Ellery Hanley and Alan Tate, and Hanley picks it up. It's a good kick in the circumstances. So it puts Leeds right back 40 metres from their own line. Jim Fallon comes in field looking for the break, puts his shoulder down in that formidable style. Neil Harmon. Oh, that's a great ball there from Harmon. James Lowes will find Richie Ayres, and Richie Ayres looks full of running this afternoon. Schofield. Alan Tate's in the line, and he's through the line. Inside balls for Hanley. Hanley brought down, so 4 tackles gone. Leeds 10 metres from the Hull line. Schofield with the ball in his hands. Switches play. Checks the other side. Tate again in the line. Drop off balls for Marlow. Leeds now within 8 metres, and we're on the last tackle. So Leeds would be well advised to run this ball. And that's going to be a 20-metre tap, so not a bad kick in the end there by Gary Schofield. And Hewitt, tackle immediately, tried to take advantage there. And Dean Busby is tackling possession.
Yes, and all finding it very hard to make yards out of their own half. Leeds' defence is tight, but so the conditions are on top of all of it at the moment. John Sharp gets almost the halfway line, but Hull struggling to put much in the way of attack on. Harmon wraps Hewitt up just inside the Leeds half. It's the last tackle. McNamara kicks through, gets a bit of distance. Cummings takes it from his wing. And is tackled just short of the 30-metre line.
So Leeds, Cummings will play the ball. Lowes will look for runners, finds Alan Tate, who's ran well this afternoon. And that's got to be a penalty there, and this time it's Gary Rose interfering, coming back from what would have been an offside position. Was at the side of the man and interfered with him all the way back round, and the referee having a word as he's just done with Ellery Hanley. And speaking to Greg McCallum earlier this week, he intends to stay with this quick play the balls for as long as his contract lasts at the Rugby League, he was telling me. And I can assure you're in for some fun next season, because his next big area is the scrums. So Leeds with the penalty then. Marlow driving in, and now it's Neil Harmon's turn, and he's on the charge. Running in the heavy traffic areas, Neil Harmon, and getting the ball away, James Lowes. Tremendously strong James Lowes in the leg area. Schofield, switching play, pulling all the Hull men one way. Elroyd goes himself, Elroyd. Jim Fallon, good play there from Graham Holroyd. Jim Fallon, that's just 10 metres short. Leeds now as they look to push towards half-time with a score. Schofield finds Holroyd's pass. Chip through there.
I think Gary Schofield took the wrong option. He's been full of tricks this afternoon. Had a very good game, but let Hull off the hook with that kick. So Leeds certainly had numbers on this side. Steve McNamara finds a bit of room. He's play almost the 20-metre line. John Sharp. Good 10 metres made by John. Chico Jackson. Hewitt to kick. Just gets it over Tate's head. Tate runs it back from there, and a good tackle by Vacona.
So Jim Fallon will have a run himself from acting half-back. Wisely takes the infield option. Looked to go on the outside, I thought, at one point. James Lowes and Hull men offside and allowing Lowes to run so as not to give away the penalty, and Leeds back in the Hull half of the field with Graham Holroyd now. And now Schofield. And Lutz uses a great tackle coming in from Nolan there on the former All Black Craig Innes. Schofield showed a ball there and a huge gap opening again. Schofield still going. He's looking to have a big game here. We're up to the last tackle now, but that's great play from Gary Schofield. Hanley. Sterling knocking on over his own line, so that'll be a drop out there under the post as we approach half-time now. Can't be more than 2 or 3 minutes left for play. And the rain which we were promised has now come with a real vengeance. A lot of sleet. And good attacking play there from Gary Schofield. He's looking to have a big game this afternoon. He was telling us earlier on the week that he feels that the problems he had when he first came back here have subsided over the years. It's not as bad as it used to be. And we'll see that if he has a good game this afternoon. And Richie Ayres will willingly run forward again. So he's 30 metres from the Hull line. And Leeds will be looking now with George Mann to make further progress. It's a good ball to Marlow. Innes stepping out of tackle, so good play again from Leeds inside that 20 metres. Schofield, and his ball finds Allroyd, and Allroyd could have a run himself here. So a lovely ball out there to Jim Fallon. Fallon's going for the corner. He's knocked down just 6 or 7 metres short there. In fact, it's 10 metres as Allroyd again has the ball in his hands. Schofield. George Mann now, Leeds pushing strongly there. Well, Leeds missing a chance of scoring a try there again. George Mann losing the ball.
Well, I'm not sure that. I thought the ball went back there, and I thought that referee gives the knock on. There wasn't too much complaining about it. So Mark Hewitt to feed the scrum, and Hull really just been containing this first half. So we approach half time. Oh, Rob Danby, terrible error. Leeds have the scrum on the Hull 10-metre line. Great chance to score.
Well, last chance for Leeds to put some points on the board in this first half. Graham Allroyd quickly running with the ball around the back of the scrum. That's out immediately to Schofield. Innes, and Schofield looks for the run round there. Looks to go himself, Schofield. Nowhere to go, back on that 20 metres. Alan Tate looks to take measures into his own hands, finds Harvey Howard, who's back on the field. In fact, it's not, it's Fine Marlow. Got the numbers mixed up for a moment there in the gloom that's coming here on the... Allroyd steps and goes himself. Allroyd stepping in field. Now that's a class try from a class player there, Graham Allroyd, and you can see what he thinks of the fans behind the post. Been a lot of criticism in the local press that Graham Allroyd doesn't run enough with the ball. Steve, he certainly did then.
Well, I thought he showed tremendous footwork there. There didn't seem to be very much on for him, but he waltzed his way through a couple of Hull tackles and onto the post, and really Hull paying the penalty again for a very basic error. I know the conditions are terrible, but really the error on the previous play when Hull won the scrum and Rob Danby knocked on the first tackle.
This is the best I can remember Leeds playing here at the Boulevard for a long, long time. And Allroyd's goal makes it 18 points to 2 at half-time, and there goes the half-time outer. So Leeds having all the aces in the first half. They opened the score. Hull opened the scoring in 4 minutes with a penalty after Leeds had been interfering at the play of the ball, and then Hanley had 2 tries and good work from Francis Cummins. Allroyd converted both. He missed a penalty. It was 12-2, and then right on the stroke of half-time, after Hull had made a mess of the scrum, Allroyd scored the try himself, and Allroyd himself converted. So it's Leeds 18, Hull 2, half-time here at the Boulevard.
So the players are back. Stewart referee Robert Connolly. I'll tell you, the conditions certainly haven't improved over the interval. If anything, they've got worse. But Leeds have an 18-2 lead. They've got to play into these elements in the second half, but that's a big cushion. That try just before half-time. Some delightful footwork by Graham Holroyd, the killer blow for Hull, I think. Well, just about to get underway. Leeds to kick off. Chico Jackson takes the first drive of the second half, takes the play up to the 20-metre line. Sterling. McNamara. Hewitt kicks. That ball will drift away into touch inside the Leeds 10-metre line. Good kick by Mark Hewitt. Very simple set of plays, Brian, but very effective yardage.
Yeah, nice. Rob Nolan's on for Richard Gay, injured just before half-time. Busby. Good tackle by Hassan on Busby then, but all moving it left. Cassidy. Chico Jackson. Endicott. Good run by Endicott to the posts. Oh, good ball out. Try in the corner, is he? No, he stopped short. Yeah, try there. I think he got the ball over, then he was pushed back. And it looks like Dean Busby scores. So maybe we're a little bit too critical in the first half, because obviously Hooker Lee Richardson's off, and that's caused them some problems.
Determination by Dean Busby to get over then. Steve McNamara held the ball up well, managed to release it. But a bad blow for Hull. Richard Gay off, Brian.
Real blow, real blow. Oriole's best attacking weapon. It's there, good kick from Hewitt off the touchline, brings Hull back in the game at 18 points to 8. Certainly brought the whole crowd to life. Howard's on for Harmon, for Leeds. Chico Jackson. Tackle by Laws and Famalo. For corner. Again Laws in the tackle. Sterling running off. Again Laws in. Doing a lot of tackling the Leeds hooker. John Sharp. For the other, no, Hewitt kicks. Wynn catches it. Oh, good take by Tate. And again, a good tackle by Dean Busby. Cummins.
So Leeds paying the price there. Early in the second half, Hassan will run with the ball. And the conditions now absolutely appalling in the faces of Leeds, so they'll need to make as much progress as possible, because the Hull kicking on the sixth tackle will make play right down into the Leeds quarter from any part of the field. James Laws battling as ever to take play upward up to the last tackle now, so. And Schofield kicks, and that's a good kick, and that's skidding over towards the touchline side, but it won't go in. Paul Sterling will pick it up. Former Bradford and Bingley Rugby Union man. And he's lost the ball. The knock on. It's head and ball, the Leeds at the scrum. So a mistake from Hull. So can Leeds capitalise the way that they did just before half-time and the way that Hull have just done? first half scrums, well, they were 6-3 to Leeds in the penalty, 6-all, and Leeds just the one scrum that they've won in this second half. Holroyd quickly out from Fallon. Looks to break through there. Fallon takes play right on that 20-metre mark. So Holroyd quickly in acting half, finds Schofield. Schofield finds Hayes and a gap opens for Hayes. And quickly closes again, and lucky for Hull there. The Leeds stacking men up on the short side. On Philisan's gone without the ball. And Hull back in possession.
Rob Nolan tackled 4 metres from his own line. Here comes Gary Nolan. Chico Jackson. Good strong run by Jackson, takes play over the 20-metre line. McNamara can't handle. Ball goes down again. Really, conditions have deteriorated to the point where handling's very, very difficult now. The side that makes fewer mistakes is going to win the game, and certainly Leeds have been that side so far in the match. Tate.
Alan Tate looking to make progress there. He's lost his boot. Schofield again using the short side with George Mann. And George Mann's turned to cough up the ball this time. So comedy of errors at the moment. Sterling just coming away with the ball. And brought down as Alan Tate regains his boot. McNamara. It's a good ball out there for Endicott. Shane Endicott's lost the ball, and Leeds have it again now with Essini Faimalo. So Faimalo will just play the ball in the middle of the field, and now it's Harvey Howard's turn. Oh, that's good play from Leeds. George Mann finds Fallon. Fallon will take Sterling on the outside. Inside ball for Philisan. Hassan straightening up. Finally brought to ground, but Leeds have got men to spare over on that far side, and the whole cover swarming across now as Innes gets the ball. Looping round there for Hayes. And Hayes right on the touchline side, did well to stay in field. Again, Cummins runs from acting half, running across the field, looking, but there's no way through. And we're up to the last tackle, so James Lowes will find Holroyd. Holroyd drubs a kicker, and it's straight at Paul Sterling. But Holroyd quickly following his own kick up.
Sterling to play about 17 metres away. Here's Vakona. It's wrapped up by Mann. Leeds really have tackled well around the ruck. Busby. Hull set for the kick. Hewitt. But Tate does well. He was receiving some attention, but got back well to take that. Well, Vakona makes the tackle and misses him. Ball goes loose. Knock on against Leeds. Sterling's taking the knockdown there. Is it that hip again? Ribs, I think. Quite badly hurt down there. Getting to his feet now. Rejoining the action. Endicott. Tackled by Hanley. Just short of halfway. Cassidy. Oh, the ball goes loose. It's picked up by Gary Nolan. Chico Jackson. Somehow Hull not getting that forward momentum right.
No, I think they're missing Lee Richardson actually, acting half-back, to be honest. There's no variety. Schofield, I think, is going in the... Well, somebody's going to get 10 minutes. Showing it's Gary Schofield. Well, obviously the crowd love that. So it's Mark Hewitt. Kick puts Hull on the attack. Leeds down to 12 for the next 10 minutes. Danby. Rose. Good run by Rose. Busby. Who just tackle short, Dean Busby. Hewitt. Good tackle by Hanley. Play on. Danby, but it certainly won't play on. Nowhere was it play on. It was either a knock on by Hull or a penalty if he decides that Hanley had interfered with play. Not a bad kick, yeah, try. Oh, what a try by Gary Nolan. What a try from absolutely nothing. Cross kick. Gary Nolan was faced there by somewhere. And Hull right back in the game, Steve.
Yes, you've got to ask about the incident on the earlier tackle, though, and certainly the ball came loose. The referee and touch judge have consulted. But I don't think any of them saw that. I'm not quite. It certainly wasn't playing. It should have been a knock-on, or the ball was stolen.
Yes, the ball just appeared on the floor. The referee was looking at his touch judges. Hull took the advantage and played on and played to the whistle, and they've managed to get over there with a good kick. Leeds some sloppy defence there and conceding the try. This will put Hull within 4 points. To be fair, Hull have looked more likely to score. They've put Leeds under considerable pressure.
Cassidy finds a bit of space. Just Cassidy, good tackle. Hewitt goes to the air. That's a good one. Plenty of chasers here. Rob Nolan running out of support. Tries the kick. Back to one. Well, the referee, I'm a bit surprised at that because I can't say that the Leeds man played that, but Hull with 6 more in front of the post. Sterling from acting half. Good tackle by Lowe's down there. John Sharp for the post. Within 4 metres. Hewitt. McNamara. Is he there? Held up on, double movement. Penalty to Leeds. Well, it's all action at the moment. Steve McNamara tried disallowed.
So Leeds escaping again. Looked an odd decision there from the referee when he awarded the 6 more tackles. The ball certainly looked to have gone. The ball played the man. Hull player put in a kick from nothing. He had nothing really, nowhere to go. So Leeds get the penalty, and now they'll try and run this ball out. They can't afford any more mistakes, Leeds. So many times we've seen them come here to the Boulevard and leading well, and then conceded early tries in the second half. And really, Leeds not made an incisive break in the second half, and here comes Harvey Howard. And that's a good run there from the prop forward. Lowe's finds space there, Ayres. Using Ayres as a dummy runner, and using Holroyd now with the ball in his hands. George Mann will have gone to stand off with Gary Schofield off, and again the ball's put down. Picked up by Innes, but that ball knocked forward, says the referee. As Leeds cut inside, so again Leeds make the error, and Hull will have possession from the scrum. So Hewitt to feed the scrum.
Play just inside the Leeds half, and the game has been transformed. Rob Nolan. Sharp. To the corner. Play almost up to the 20-metre line. That's a good tackle by George Mann coming across. Hewitt. Gary Rose. Hewitt, this is Cassidy. Over the 20-metre line. There's some real determination in the Hull running now. Hewitt. Busby. Well tackled out there by Innes, I think. Hewitt. McNamara. Cassidy. Ball goes back, Leeds have it.
So well picked up there by a penalty there. And that's a silly penalty for Steve McNamara. And I think, is it McNamara? It's difficult to see from here. But he's going in the bin. In fact, it's number 7. So both half-backs off the field at the moment. So Holroyd kicks forward, and Leeds will be looking to make progress now while at Hull are down to the same men, and when Gary Schofield comes back for, he will be back within the next couple of minutes, I think. Certainly well before Hewitt, Harvey Howard. And Leeds have got to come away now and play some football and try and make advantage while Hull have their sort of master player off. He's the one who makes them tick. George Mann running hard. Looking to straighten up now. Still going, George Mann. And that's good running from George Mann. He's only made 10 metres, but he's made 10 metres in the hardest part of the field, handling out. And we're up to the last tackle, so Leeds with Holroyd with the ball in his hands. Puts a cross-field bomb there, Leeds are all chasing. Francis Cummings is in for the try. That's a great try there. Cummings was miles onside, and Holroyd and Cummings practiced that kick. A complete mistake there by Danby, so that restores a little bit of sanity as far as Leeds are concerned. Try wide out there to Cummings, and a substantial Leeds element at the back of the post. Crowd there chanting for the Loiners now. 58 minutes, and the wind there causing Danby all sorts of problems, but Leeds full advantage there. It was a good crossfield kick by Holroyd, and he does work that well with Francis Cummings. And I think, Steve, that score just coming at the right time for Leeds.
Yes, they've probably drawn the sting of Hull, certainly brought themselves right back into the match. A very good kick by Holroyd. And Francis Cummings becoming one of the deadly finishers. Oh, and a great kick by Graham Holroyd from near the touchline. Excellent kick. Leeds 24-14, the lead.
Thanks, Steve. Schofield is just about to come back on. I think he's waiting for the fourth official to say, get on there, Gary. It's 14, Rob Nolan kicking off. And Holroyd immediately picking that ball up. And Schofield still itching to get on the field. Cummings. Schofield's back on the field, so Leeds can resort to something like a normal plan of attack now. George Mann, who's been playing in the standoff position, will move back. And again, Richie Ayres, who's run really well today. And John Connolly, Robert Connolly's give a bad decision there. Said that was forward. It didn't look forward at all, and James Lowes was well behind there. Richie Ayres not too impressed with that. It's a very dodgy decision, Steve.
Yes, I thought Tate did very well to take it, really. I think the only danger in that was a knock-on. Certainly wasn't, he gathered it very well. Vacona. Rob Nolan. Gary Nolan. Takes play to the 30-metre line. No runners for Rob Nolan. Endicott takes play to the 20-metre line, midfield. Chico Jackson can't take the ball, and it's knock-on. Conditions, I think we can be a bit hard on players handling, but conditions are really appalling out there.
Yes, this is certainly the worst game I've seen this season for the weather, and winter's definitely here with a bang. And it must be like a bar of soap at the moment, and the finger ends must be really cold as Francis Cummins comes away for Leeds. Leeds monopolising the scrums, 10-6 at the moment, as Innes goes on a charge up the middle of the field. 24 points to 14 then. Leeds have a 10-point lead. Harry Howard, who's worked hard all afternoon. Now the ball's back in the hands of Holroyd, and Schofield, first touch since he came back on the field, there's looking to go through the gap. And Hanley bursting forward there, Ellery Hanley up to the last tackle, but Leeds 10 metres inside that whole half of the field. Holroyd drubs that grubber kick towards the hole, in goal, and picked up by Nolan, who's switched to full back with that injury to Richard Gay. Danby with the run. And that's Gary Nolan again there in play. Endicott goes himself, nowhere for Endicott to go. McNamara puts the kick in. And I don't think that Shane Endicott's been an effective link between backs and forwards today.
No, I think Hull have suffered from the disorganisation, losing Lee Richardson, acting halfback, and of course they haven't got Mark Hewitt on the field at the moment, so really lacking both organisers around the rucks, and looking rather ponderous in getting the ball away from there. Craig Innes running for Leeds, gets to the 30-metre line.
So Innes there. Driving forward, George Mann now, Assini, Faimalo. And Leeds, of course, a big game coming up next week against Halifax. Could be second and third in the table if Leeds can manage to win this afternoon, and that's certainly not a foregone conclusion, because Hull never beaten here at the Boulevard until well after the Hooters gone. And Schofield's kick's a good one. It finds touch just a metre or so inside that 20-metre area. So a good kick from Gary Schofield. Hull should retain possession with head and ball at the scrum. 22-23 minutes of the second half gone. Leeds with the 10-point lead. And John Sharp is working the feed for Hull now that they have a man off. That Leeds are bringing Faimalo off, and that will bring Gary Mercer back on. Faimalo has worked well this afternoon. That will put George Mann into the front row, and Mercer quickly running up to take his position in the second row. Sharp finds a ball, finds Paul Sterling, a man who's liable to go the length of the field if he's allowed.
Well read by Gary Schofield. Vacona up. John Sharp takes play to the 30-metre line, but Gary Rose, he's worked hard for Hull. McNamara juggles with it, manages to hold on. It's the last tackle. Hull really without a kicker. Rob Nolan, I suppose, will be pressed into service. Now did that ball come off a Leeds player? I think it did. Alan Tate regathers for Leeds. Tries to get away from Vacona, but doesn't. Gets tackled on the 20-metre line.
Jim Fallon looking for a way through, and there's no way through. That's two good tackles from Hull there, keeping Leeds pinned down here when Tate will have been looking to bring that ball well away. Gary Mercer. Ayres. And again, Leeds, that's 4 tackles gone. Leeds have only made 10 metres from the kick, but that's good defence from Hull. And Hull moving very quickly away from marking square at the play of the ball. And Sterling did ever so well there to keep in touch.
He did exceptionally well. Rob Nolan. Hull have been warming up Richard Gay to bring him back on. He's doing his stretching exercises out there. John Sharp hits it up meanwhile to the halfway line. Good break by Sharp, gets to the 30-metre line. Cassidy calls for the quick play of the ball and has a run himself. Good run by Cassidy, 10 metres away now, Hull. Hewitt's back on the field. Oh. Ball comes out to Chico Jackson. Endicott kicks through onto Tate. Tate has to make it, touch it down over his own line. Not too much threat there, pretty safe for Alan Tate, but Leeds will have to drop out from under their own post.
Yeah, Sterling down here, and Chico Jackson just got to his feet. Obviously Leeds in no hurry to restart. It's Graham Allroyd. Into the wind. Keeps it low. Straight to Endicott. John Sharp. Willing runner for Hull, John Sharp. Good run. Cassidy. Hewitt. Penalty. Not playing the ball. Second time for John Sharp. You can't argue. He's been playing years. So it's a penalty to Leeds and a let-off.
It's a let-off for Leeds there. That looked as though they were under pressure again, and Hull, their almost enemies. John Sharp's penalty in the first half for not playing the ball correctly gave Leeds a try, and it's probably costly Hull a try in this second half as Gary Mercer romps forward. Penalties 9-7 to Leeds now. Mostly for technical offensive. You haven't seen any Richie Ayres, that's good running again from Ayres. Looking to go through the gap. Innes taking play up to halfway line. We've had 4 tackles in Leeds. They're looking to move forward now. Harvey Howard. And he's had a big game for Leeds this afternoon, Harvey Howard. Allroyd's kick drummed towards the touchline side, will find touch. So that scrum will be 5 or 7 metres, I think, inside the Hull 20 metres. And Leeds are bringing number 12 off this time, which will be Richie Ayres. And Neil Harmon comes on, so again we'll be swapping round at the pack. And Hull will last throw the dice, bringing Richard Gay on.
Rob Nolan's gone on the wing. And Richard Gay to full-back. Endicott tackled on the 20-metre line. Busby. Chico Jackson. Richard Gay. Sharp. There is a penalty. Referee giving up very late. I think it's another sin binning. George Mann, I think, in the bin. That was it for the swinging arm or late in the tackle?
He pushed him down. I'm not quite sure. I think he held down.
So Hull with the penalty, and they will restart on the 30-metre line. McNamara hits it up. Gary Rose into the 20-metre zone. Plenty of runners here. John Sharp calls the blind side. Still going John Sharp inside to Chico Jackson. He's over. He's over. Good work by John Sharp. And Chico Jackson supporting on the inside to Crossbrand.
Yeah, good well-worked try there by Hull. 2 dummy runners close to play the ball as John Sharp went to the right, found Chico Jackson, cut back inside, and Brody touched down unopposed. Mark Hewitt composing himself. You'd say not so difficult to kick, but in these conditions I think any kick's pretty difficult. Yeah, but it's there. So we've got 10 minutes left. It's Hull 20, Leeds 24. All to play for.
Certainly is. A great finish here. Hull have pulled themselves back again. Certainly had the better of the second half. Both halves have gone with the elements. But 4 points the difference. As Holroyd restarts. Taken by Hewitt. Richard Gay. Tackled by Hanley and Schofield, the two most experienced. Oh, Schofield must have been offside there at the play of the ball. Certainly wasn't marking square on. McNamara. The Leeds forwards, I think, have tackled very well in this match. Hewitt kicks early in the tackle count. That's a good idea, I think. Drive Leeds back. Tate has to play it inside his own 20 metres.
Oh, Tate looking to come away and does just that. That's a good run from Tate, but Hewitt halts his progress, but that was good running there. Francis Cummins stepping inside, looking to go the length. McNamara brings him down, and it's a difficult times for Leeds. They really need another score. Gary Mercer bumps men off. Still going. Neil Harmon takes play into the Hull half of the field, so Leeds, they're looking now with Graham Holroyd to kick downfield there, and that will hold up in the wind. It won't go dead, and Leeds need a good chase here. And Richard Gay will use Gary Nolan. That's a good kick and chase from Leeds.
Hull in possession, but it's a long way to the other end of the field from there. That's a good run by Gary Nolan. Cassidy. The two makes good ground. Sharp. Knock on given against John Sharp from the touch judge on the other side. And Leeds will have the scrum.
It's a good tackle there, forcing the ball out, and Leeds appealing for the touch judge, who was quite a way away there, gave the knock on. Schofield just happy to take that ball. Gary Mercer. And takes play into the 20 metres, right on the line as James Lowes plays the ball, looks, spots the gap, goes himself from acting half. Hanley now. Oh, and Fallon's put the ball down there with the line at his mercy. So led off there for Hull, Steve.
A bit of Ellery Hanley brilliance there, really read that situation well. Used the short side exceptionally well. But Fallon wasn't up to taking the pass. John Sharp has won the Hull Man of the Match award. Well, again, Hull possession, but it's the wrong end of the field for them. Ball goes loose. Schofield kicks through at the play of the ball. Back to one. Well, this is the area Hull have found most difficult today. Leeds have contained Hull in their own 20-metre area very well, I think. Ball goes loose from McNamara. That's the force of the Leeds tackling there, Brian, I think. They've tackled really well there.
Yeah, and obviously the ball's getting greasy. Yeah, good tackling by Leeds. And really, both Schofield and Hanlon are really playing a big part here for Leeds, really keeping it going.
So Leeds with the ball out of the scrum. Holroyd, Tate's in the line, incisive running from Alan Tate. Looks dangerous every time he comes into the line. Fallon will just drive forward. No nonsense as far as Leeds are concerned. Another score now for Leeds would probably wrap this game up. But they'll be just happy to keep possession. In the whole 20 metres. James Lowe spots the gap from acting half. Finds Phil Hassan, and Hassan can't force his way over. Leeds only a metre short now. The penalty to Leeds, and Hanley's over, so that's disappointing for Ellery Hanley. He's over the line there, and so Leeds will kick for touch. Graham Holroyd will try and put some pressure on the whole line as we approach the last couple of minutes or so of this game. Neil Harmon looks to drive forward, he can't. He doesn't make any ground whatsoever. That's great defence from Hull. Harvey Howard now will have a charge and pushing forward towards that line. Laws finds Schofield. Oh, well clamped man and ball there. Good tackle from John Sharp. Laws again using the short side, stepping inside, driving for the line. Holroyd changing direction now, puts the kick in. And a drop out under the post there. Referee stopping play. Well, Schofield and McNamara have been having a little head-to-head there for the last 5 or 6 minutes. And he's given Hull a penalty, so could this be the last chance for Hull, Steve?
It's getting that way, isn't it? But Leeds have really held Hull very, very firmly since Hull got back to 2024. It isn't as if we've seen any play really down in the Leeds half even. Busby, good tackle by Hanley. Sharp, undercut. Gary Nolan. Hewitt kicks through. Vacona chases. I think it'll run dead. No, perhaps it won't. Tate's going to have to play it over his own line. It's not going to run dead. That's what Hull wanted. That's a good tackle by Sterling. Leeds have to drop out. Hull should get possession back. 3 or 4 minutes to go. Referee stops the clock. Richard Gay collects just inside the Leeds half. Cassidy. Hewitt. Sharp. Again, Leeds in the tackle. They really have defended very well, I think, today. Hewitt. Good run by Hewitt. Seemed to take a very heavy challenge there. Sharp. Busby. Oh, not a good ball from Richard Gay. Goes into touch. Very difficult to play football in these conditions.
Yes, absolutely appalling. Even with the rain in your back, it's terrible. Weather the worst I've seen this season. And there goes a holder, so that's a rare victory for Leeds here at the Boulevard, the first time from 1986, courtesy of the 4 tries to 3, and that was the final analysis at the end of the day. 4 tries to 3, 20 points to 24. Leeds thoroughly deserving the success. They really had it wrapped up at 18 points to 2 in the first half, but all credit to them. They've scored 3 second half tries, and the try to Francis Cummins from the crossfield kick of Graham Holroyd at the end of the day was probably the match winner. So the 2 Leeds youngsters getting on the scoreboard, and the oldest man on the field, Ellery Hanley, with 2 tries this afternoon. We had 4 Graham Holroyd goals, and for Hull a penalty to Hewitt, a try to Busby, a try to Nolan, a try to Chico Jackson, and 3 conversions for Hewitt. So the Leeds players just running up to the far end there. Steve, been an entertaining game in the circumstances.
Well, certainly conditions deteriorated horribly in the second half, towards the end of the first half. Leeds, I think, very much the deserved winners today. Very strong first half performance, and Hull chipped away with plenty of spirit in the second half, but once Lee Richardson had gone off, Hull locked that cohesion around the play of the ball, and Leeds just had too many big guns in the end and certainly deserved their win.
So there, and from the Boulevard, the final score, Leeds 24, Hull 20.